So when I reviewed the Meta Ray-Ban display, my biggest complaint by far was that it was a walled garden. There were not a lot of apps, it was a glimpse of the future but stuck in beta. Well, last month Meta opened it up and now people are playing Doom on their face, building their own apps in one afternoon. I tried it too, it's pretty cool. And that futuristic feature that Zuck promised, writing with your finger on any surface, it now works and it's pretty amazing, but we'll talk about that. So there has been a lot of changes. But are they enough to make me feel like these glasses are actually worth it now? Let's talk about that. And just so you know, I bought these glasses myself. Now stick around because this whole category is about to get wild. Now a quick reset for anyone new here. The Meta Ray-Ban display are smart glasses with a tiny full color screen in the right lens, and they come with the neural band, which is this wristband that reads the tiny muscle signals in your hand so you can control everything with little finger movements. I've been living with these now for about half a year now through a ton of software updates. And in my original review, I loved the neuroband. I called it the star of the show. The glasses felt sci-fi and I really loved the navigation because it really felt like having a mini-map in real life. But I said, and I'm quoting myself here, it's a closed system and that's a major downside. It was very bound to Meta's own social media apps, which is only great if you're using those apps a lot. So it was genuinely exciting, but I told most of you to wait. So that's the then. But now let's do the now, and we're going to go con by con the stuff I complained about and see what actually changed. So watch my first video first because you'll understand this one better. I will link it below. Okay, the biggest one first, the closed platform. Then you could only really use Meta's own stuff. But now, just a couple of weeks ago, Meta opens the display to developers, and now there are two ways in. The first, and the one I care about the most, is web apps. These are little websites, basically, that you can load into the glasses, and it can use the neural band, the motion sensors, and even your phone's GPS. And the cool thing is that anyone can make one and send it to you with just a link. So think about what that can unlock. A ton of new games in your lens, a grocery list, a timer for cooking, a little speedometer when you're running, stuff Meta was probably never going to build that someone else out there can now just make. And this isn't just a theory. People already have Tetris, and yes, someone literally got Doom on your face and it's controlled with the neural band. Okay, it's a little gimmicky, but the point is that this even works and runs at all is just crazy. Another crazy thing is with AI nowadays, you can do it yourself. You don't need to know how to code. Since Meta opened up their developer kit, you can just describe what you want to an LLM and it writes it for you. It's called vibe coding and people are making apps in just an afternoon. And yes, I had to try it myself. If you've been following me, you know I want a Pokemon Go game on any smart glasses and it can look like pixels, I really don't care. So I told AI, build me a Meta Ray-Ban display web app that makes use of the neuroband, motion sensors and even GPS so I can catch Pokemons that are randomly spawned. Now I did run into a little hiccup where the AI told me that Pokemon is licensed so I should not use it, blah blah blah, and it started building a different creature game called Wild Hunt. But a few minutes later, I was able to load it into my glasses and there it is. It's not Pokemon, but I can still walk around now and catch my own creatures with my own vibe-coded game. As an ex-developer, I find it wild that you can do this now. And if you want to do this as well, you just have to flip on developer mode in the Meta AI app info settings. After that, you can add your web app by link in the glasses settings, app connections, and it will just show up. But I digressed a bit. Is the closed platform complaint now gone? Honestly, mostly yes, and this is the single biggest thing that I asked for, but let's be objective about what open actually means here. It's not fully open, like say jailbreaking a phone. You can't crack these things right open and run anything you want, and it's not open like the App Store either, where you just tap install and you're done. It's a developer preview, and Meta hasn't even said when this leaves testing or when normal people get the proper store. So it's open, but it's open like a workshop, not a shop, not yet. There's a second door too. It's called the Meta Wearables Device Access Toolkit. That's kind of a mouthful. It's basically a set of tools Meta released last year that lets developers tap into what the glasses can do and build that into their own apps. For example, they can tap into the glasses camera and microphone. And look, privacy concerns aside, it's pretty awesome because now third-party apps you already use on your phone can recognize what you're looking at and react to it. So they could stream your point of view live, they could listen for quick commands and answer back. What's that actually look like? Well, some of the names already building this are pretty big. Disney, for example, made a parks guide that can recognize an attraction and give you more info or tips about it as you walk around the park. 18 Birdies is a golfing app which turns your glasses into a caddy, showing you yardages and club recommendations right on the course. Now, early on, a lot of these only talked back to you with voice, but since last month, Meta confirmed developers can put their own visual components on the display too. Not just audio, they said specifically text, images, list, buttons, and even video. But I haven't seen many examples of this yet, as these apps have not been released to the public. But one of the apps that started building with this toolkit has actually rolled out already. It's called Be My Eyes, and it's an app that connects blind and low vision people to a sighted volunteer. Meta even calls it the first accessibility app on AI glasses, and I think that's a beautiful use case. And that's the part that makes me genuinely excited, because up to now, everything in these glasses ran on what Meta wanted to show you. This opens it up so any app can bring its own knowledge into your view. That means many more use cases if Meta doesn't gatekeep it too much, because it's still a developer preview and we don't know if everyone can ship what they want. Remember, this is a second door and different from the web apps. But next complaint. I also said in my previous video that the features were limited. Like, you could DM people on Instagram but not scroll your feed. You could not stream YouTube or TikTok. But now they added features to their existing system as well. So you can scroll, like, save and share Instagram Reels from your feed right from the glasses now. You can also browse Spotify playlist. Audible audiobooks are also there, and there's this fun one where you can just say, hey Meta, play a song to match this view, and it picks music based on what the camera sees. And the YouTube thing, well, people can just build web apps now to allow you to watch YouTube or TikTok. So the wall didn't just crack, you can kind of build your own door now. So the features I said was limited. Well, a couple of months ago it was just a handful of Meta's own apps, but now it's a lot more, and that's also a big frustration now gone. But there is still a feature that I've been very wowed by as well, which is handwriting. So now you can reply to messages by writing letters with your fingers, like scribbling on an invisible surface, and the neuroband reads. It really feels like magic the first time. And honestly, it works incredibly well, better than I thought it would. It's definitely slow though. It's not going to replace your phone for typing out a paragraph, but when you're out and about and your hands aren't free because you're holding a coffee and you just need to fire off a quick reply, it is super nice, just super cool. But there are limits. Now it works across Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and native Android and iOS messaging, which is better than before, but it still won't work anywhere else until Meta makes it possible. And officially it's US English only, so the good news is that you can actually write in other languages, but it might autocorrect your words to an English one, and the predictive text won't work. That's the thing where it guesses your next word as you go. So without it, every letter is on your own. Now, I think it would be so cool if at some point they added non-alphabetic languages too, like Chinese. I mean, that's probably a whole other challenge, but imagine. Honestly, writing on my lap to send a text still feels like science fiction to me. And if you like the kind of sci-fi that's actually real on this channel every week, like and subscribe, it really helps a lot. That's the only time I'll ask that, promise. Next, my favorite feature in the first review was navigation, that little minimap in your eye, but it was locked to the US. The start button literally would not work outside America. Now it's expanded across the whole US, plus international cities, London, Paris, Rome, and more. But the rollout has been very slow, city by city, which is unfortunate. They haven't really explained why it's been this slow, but Meta's maps rely on data from OpenStreetMap and Overture future, and I do wonder if it would have been a lot faster if they would just use Google Maps. So this is better than before, but still the slowest fix on the list. They also shipped a pile of other stuff, so let me quick fire that. They added home screen widgets, so you can have calendar reminders, weather, stocks, glanceable. You can even link Google Calendar or Outlook now, which is great. You've got hands-free timers as well. Just say set a timer and watch it count down in your eye, which for someone who uses timers as reminders a lot, yes please. Display recording, and this is a big one for creators. It records what you see in the lens plus the reel plus audio into a 1-minute shareable clip. That's how I can show you what this looks like from the inside without the trouble that I had to go through before. Better late than never. Now there's also live captions on calls now, so a real-time transcription of the call right on your display. Currently English only, and now it is expanded beyond phone calls to WhatsApp, Messenger and Instagram calls too. And you can now do group video calls on WhatsApp right from the glasses and flip to your point of view camera, so everyone on the call sees exactly what you see. Plus other little things, up to 30 WhatsApp message threads at once now, new games like 2048, a teleprompter, and an adaptive display that adjusts contrast to your lighting automatically. It's nice because this is a lot of quality of life updates. So a lot has changed, right? And I'm genuinely happy about it. Some of these are amazing, but does it make the glasses worth it now? Well, there are still a few things to take into account. Battery is the big one. Still only around 3 to 6 hours depending on use, and it drops fast if you lean on the display or camera. And those new web apps don't really help. Now, they are not offline apps that you install, they need internet to work. So the app itself doesn't drain that much on its own, but in practice, it will cost you more because there's a constant connection running in the background and because there's just so much more to do now. So you keep the display on way more, and that's what really drains it. I've had the battery die on me in about 2 hours. For me, battery this low still makes it really hard to recommend it at this price. That's the shame of it. Phone notifications is another thing that hasn't changed. You still can't get all your phone notifications, like for example your email app. It's still mostly just Meta's own apps and whatever Meta chooses to integrate in here, which is still kind of slow. Now, I use an iPhone, but they said Android allows more true. Meta mostly blames Apple, and I think there is some truth to it, but here's the thing that I find strange. My other smart glasses, like my Even Realities pair, already show me my iPhone notifications just fine, so I'm honestly not sure why Meta can't pull it off. And it's a similar story with translation. I'm a little disappointed the language rollout is also slow here. A couple more languages on the non-display models and more in the US early access program like Hindi, Arabic, Chinese, but not widely available. Meanwhile, Even Reality supports 35 languages, and the Google XR glasses I got to try translated and switched languages noticeably faster, and it just felt like a step ahead on the AI. And since my review, I tried a lot more smart glasses, and the more I tried, the more I realized the features I find genuinely useful are integrated ones that help my real life. Like a Conversate on Even Realities. It gives you real-time explanations of concepts as people talk, even helps you remember things, then uses AI to give you a summary and action points afterwards. It's the reason why I use those glasses more. And the rest, same as before, there's no landscape video, the neural band still leaves marks after a few hours, you still can't export your caption transcripts, and there are no other smart features like an AI summary, which most other glasses do have and is generally useful. The display still has that faint noticeable waveguide and soft edges, and honestly sometimes I don't find them comfortable to wear them all the time because I see a bit blurrier with the glasses on because of the waveguides. Though I should say I'm not used to wearing glasses at all, so it might just be me. So again, more than a half year and a ton of updates later, do I recommend it now for $799 US? Well, it's a lot more tempting than it was when I bought this, I'll say that. The biggest annoyance I complained about is the walled garden, which is mostly gone, and I really didn't expect it to be like this. Vibe coding your own app, so much more content, and the handwriting that feels like magic. That said, the neural band is also still the star of the show, also because no other glasses have one, nothing else lets you control glasses this naturally. So it's genuinely exciting. Clearly the future, but it still hasn't fully shaken that dev kit feeling, and the battery alone keeps it out of must-buy territory for me at this price. Plus, a lot of features is still geo-locked to the US, so whether it's worth it also depends on where you live and if you need those features. But I do think if you're a developer, a tinkerer, or someone who loves living on the edge of what's possible, this just got a lot more fun. So then go for it. For everyone else, I would hold off and wait for a new version with a better battery. There are some rumors we might hear more at MetaConnect this September. Whether that means new display glasses, I'm not sure if the hardware is that far along yet, but we'll keep an eye out for you. Tell me down below what you think now, and if you could vibe code one app for your glasses, what would it be? Because I might actually build the best one and put it on these. And honestly, I can't wait to see where this goes next, because this is just a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.